Welcome to Movie Beer, everybody. This is Dan bringing us in, and this would be our wonderful final episode of our 4th season. So this is like episode 89-ish or so. We're almost at 90, and it's pretty awesome. And we have our original crew here.
If you don't hear this swell of orchestral music, then the check didn't clear. So there should be like Family Guy style level, like John Williams hasn't returned my call, but he will.
Someday. Yeah. Are they renewing for a season 5? Is that?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Somebody renewing? Yeah.
Well, the executive I pitched it to told me, well, it was promising. He said, "Get out of my living room, please. I'm calling the cops." Which is basically industry speak for, we'll put some money in.
We'll talk to you soon.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. So Randall and Blake and I watched.
I'm your making stuff up expert, Blake.
Yeah. We watched the film Nope, that is a Jordan Peele vehicle of writing, directing, and producing. And we saw it at the theater. We saw it at Cinema 21 here in Northwest Portland.
Yep.
And they provide the exact same beer list that they had the last time we were there pre-COVID.
But it's a decent variety of stuff.
It is. It's a good variety.
If you haven't been there in a while, it's
they have a good variety of different styles, and they even have their own lager that they have available if they have it in. Unfortunately, they ran out just before we were in line, just before us in line. So it was a little
that's a good sign, though, if it's popular enough that it runs out.
Yeah.
Hopefully not that and, going bad.
So I think at least I had seen the previews to this and read a little bit about it. I didn't see any breakdowns. It had been out before we went to go see it, so I didn't do any plot spoiling.
I saw the second trailer and wished I hadn't because it
gives a little bit more.
A little bit more than I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Before going into the movie.
Randall, did you watch any of the trailers before?
I think did we see a trailer at?
The second one was played for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
that's where I saw it and thought, "Come on."
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw.
But
the trailer.
I'm still happy with it. There's some stuff I saw where I thought, "Whoa, cool! I didn't expect that." And
So the vehicle and the plot use a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's basically 3 main characters. There's the sister and the brother, who
OJ and darn it. Otis Jr. basically.
And so their father had this horse ranch that's outside of LA, and they use horses in a lot of movies and TVs and commercials and things.
Hey, with horses.
And the son is at least trying to continue on the family business and tradition, and the father at the very beginning of the film dies, and that's given. That's in the trailer.
Yeah, they share that, which is that's okay.
And they're trying to figure out what the heck happened.
The rest of it takes place 6 months later, I think they said.
Yeah.
So half a year jump.
The poor guy is trying to take over the family business, and he is not a people person.
He is a horse person, not a centaur, but he is great with the animals, but pretty terrible with and that's in the trailer too. Now that doesn't give too much away. Where the sister's doing her spiel about the first zoetrope or the rotoscope. Yeah, the first rotoscope moving image was a black man on a horse. Oh, We've had skin in the game. She's really throwing this pitch on there.
The sister is like in LA. She's got like 15 different side gigs she's pushing.
She's playing the game.
She's playing the game.
Yeah.
Brother's not.
And everyone there, like when they're going, they have this horse for the commercial, and they appreciate it. All the people there, they're like, "This is expected. I'm okay with you sitting there trying to sell us all your side businesses while you're introducing yourself, your brother, and this horse." And people they don't pay attention. And you're told, like, don't put something in front of it. Don't make loud noises. Do what I say. And of course, what's the first thing they do?
What do they do?
They startle the horse.
They stir the horse and it kicks, and that's the end of that. But you have to imagine this poor animal trainer, horse handler, and there's other people there on set that are handling other animals that are talking with him and stuff. And it's a great foreshadowing of how the rest of the film is going to go for this poor character.
Well, is the scene with
not well?
Is the teasing of Gordy? Is that before that? I'm trying to remember if the movie opens with the TV setting or if it was the horse scene.
It was. I think the horse
because the Gordy thing's pretty early too, and a lot of us were thinking, why is this? It makes sense later. Yeah. But you're thinking, why are they talking about who's Gordy? What's happening?
Yeah, so there's another actor who is their neighbor and has turned his ranch into this kind of sci-fi cowboy experience.
Played by Steven Yeun.
Yeah, really interesting. And this guy had been a child actor.
Yeah, like real side of the road, like gnarly kind of just... Well, if we get 10 people on a weekday, that's big business. That's good.
It is big business. So it's kind of hokey, but for people in LA, it's something different.
Or people visiting California for the first time, like, whoa, look at this cool thing.
So Randall, you've been to California before. Are there things like this out in California that you've ever seen before, like little ranches like that where you can go?
I don't know. I think so. I can't recall any place, but it seemed like a failed theme park. That's basically
Kinda.
what it was.
So attractions.
There's a place called Shaniko in Oregon. Have you guys been here?
Shaniko.
Shaniko, Oregon.
Not heard of
It's
it.
in the east side of Oregon. It's a ghost town. You just drive up.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a legit ghost town, and you can walk around it, and there's just like abandoned buildings, like weird old saloons.
I want to go there and write.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds.
And then
like
get
a cool
possessed by
place.
an old West Ghost.
but I thought the location for this film was perfect. It was really beautiful.
I looked up and forgot it, but somewhere in
Where was it?
Northern California.
Yeah, I mean,
It was amazing.
It's for sure California. It's not near like a city, obviously, but
Yeah.
California is freaking big.
The clouds stole the show.
the clouds
So many
totally so the
good-looking clouds.
Clouds are beautiful.
clouds are
I thought they were in
like,
Montana for like
It's a
half the
good-looking
movie.
cloud.
So what I do have to we should forewarn people. There are some violent scenes, but not super gratuitous.
Yeah,
There's no nudity, no violence, other than the gratuitous scenes of people
know
being
what?
abducted.
What messes me up about Jordan Peele violence is that it's just
Real.
fucking- It's just weird.
Yeah,
no, it's weird.
realistic.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Like there was that one shot of like a key like lodged inside of the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the white horse that the dad was on in the pen.
Dad
and
got a nickel through the eye, I think.
Metal started raining down, and they thought it was from an airplane or something that had passed over, and like somebody dumped a bunch of stuff in the toilet, and it just spooted it out, and it's just metal, and it hit him.
Spooted.
You know, it's unfortunate that shit does happen. Stuff falls from the sky.
But the
yeah.
lead was right to question it 'cause I don't ever see that much metal dropping. It's
Yeah.
like a frozen thing of waste.
And there's this.
Yeah.
So there's sort of two sub stories going on. One is about the guy who has the ranch that's turning it into a
tourist attraction,
tourist attraction, and his interaction with animals, and him not learning to respect primates,
Yeah.
and or alpha animals who you have to treat them at certain level of respect, or
Yeah,
they're going to turn on you. And that's basically the premise. I'm like, to boil it down, you have to, and this is actually brought up in the movie. You have to treat whatever it is that you're trying to manipulate with respect, or
Yeah.
it's going to come back and it's going to kill the whole audience and you.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happened. Not to give that away, but yeah.
It is. I don't think that's too
That
bad.
that monkey tore it up.
God, Gordy.
Question for you guys.
Yeah.
Worst place. Well, first, let me preface. This movie was shot in IMAX. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's amazing. I want to go back and see it in IMAX.
I wouldn't hate seeing it again.
2, worst place to watch this film.
Amongst a bunch of children.
Amongst
On
amongst
the
children?
phone on the toilet.
On the phone riding a horse.
There you go.
Oh yes, I'll ride a horse.
If you find yourself on a horse, on vacation this summer,
Save your phone. Enjoy the horse's company.
Yeah.
That was my favorite joke when all these auteurs say it needs to be watched in IMAX at this specific ratio. You see someone on the subway watching on a phone, like upright, like a TikTok video.
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
Oh, that's harsh.
that's mean.
Or your browser's just defaulted not to auto rotate like mine.
I
So
hate
every
that.
time I'm just watching things at this super narrow.
You have to squint and
yeah.
and
I'm
zoom
just like
in.
I can't even zoom in. It's like my
Dan's just
browser
screaming
sucks.
enhance at his
my
phone.
My phone sucks.
did you guys see the other Jordan Peele movies? Us.
I never
and Get
saw
Out?
Us.
Yes.
I did see Get Out.
Yeah,
I
so-
want to watch it. I read the synopsis for Us, and I really want to watch it.
Oh man, it's scary.
So those have a specific approach to their horror and their thriller and
Yeah.
their suspense. This one is just, and you can see interviews that Jordan Peele's done about this film that we watched called Nope. That it's like this is the alien movie he wanted to see
Yeah,
for black people, for him,
like
that no one's ever made.
Yeah, it's not out there.
And this just it has two main characters, the brother and sister, that do an amazing job. They're really awesome actors. I appreciate, and they seemed realistic.
Kiki Williams, Kiki Johnson.
Yeah.
God, she's in the new Shazam as well. Like she's one of the actors and or actresses. I don't know what the preferred terms are. Film stuff kind of back to back or over time, and it releases around the same time. So she's gonna be on people's minds for a while, which is great because she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I like what Jordan Peele said about making the film that he wish somebody made for him. Do you
Yeah.
feel that way, Dan, about your beer? Do you make beer that you wish
Yes.
nobody's making this beer?
Exactly. I make beer for myself and people
yeah.
that I know they're going to like it and want to drink it, and that's exactly the point of making it. Is I know people are going to want it, and I want it myself.
I think when you make anything from that point of view, it's just better on some level, right?
Those
Yes.
are the most fun Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
one shots I do.
Yeah.
It's like I want to see this thing happen.
And we're looking at We have a computer screen here. The Monkey Paw Productions, which is Jordan Peele's production company.
Which is a really cool name for a production company.
And he's done a lot of stuff. There's a lot of YouTube
LeVar
originals, and there's some. He was a host of the Twilight Zone for a little while.
Yeah, he brought back the Twilight Zone on CBS's app, I think.
Is he not doing that anymore?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Well, it's kind of tough to bring. This is a sidebar, but it's tough to bring back Twilight Zone after the original series holds up really, really well,
it does.
and we got Black Mirror, which is really the new era of Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
the whole twist just being it's always technology involved. But
yes,
he was involved with the Last OG.
The Last OG,
which was amazing,
and Lovecraft Country, which was one of my
Jonathan Majors
TV shows.
He is phenomenal.
That was so good, and I'm waiting for the next season to come out.
They're making a second,
so I hope so because it's
Fingers crossed.
really phenomenal.
I'm not usually big on horror movies, but Jordan Peele is such a good good director, writer, producer, and he always gets good cast, and everything's just so good. I have to see it.
So I view this more as a suspense thriller, and sort of it's sci-fi in that there's an alien. You think it's an alien, you're not sure. Maybe
it's pretty
Maybe it's just
unclear.
it could be just a hungry cloud.
It could be just a hungry cloud.
Hungry clown? I didn't hear you. Hungry clown?
Cloud.
Hungry clowns.
So keep an eye on the clouds in your neighborhood and do a time lapse on them and see if they move or not. And that will tell you the story right
that
there.
was such a cool.
That cloud is hunting us down.
That was a very cool detail.
And I give them mad props, and this is in the previews, that there's a Fry's in California that's still open.
That's part of the trivia is because it's featured prominently, but they were closed by the time.
Yeah, they've all closed. I don't know how they found one that was open, but yeah, they.
Is that when I looked over at you? Was like, oh, I'm sorry, Dan.
I'm like, oh my god, I used to go to Fry's all the time.
That was
I
the
love
thing.
that
We'd
store.
swing by and find some open box deals. I'd hit the Blu-ray section.
Yeah, it was awesome, and they had Angel, the guy who's the
that guy was
inspiration.
great. I love that actor. That's a dude in retail.
He
That's exactly what a dude
totally
in retail
wormed
is
his
like.
way into that situation. Of course, he's like, do you need any assistance in installing this? Do you want to have pay for that service?
And he's doing it that way that's kind of like they don't want to. I love home installation people because they're saying because they have to. That's part of the job, but they don't always want to. Like I just want to go back and be in the air conditioning, man. Do you want help with this?
I think the whole concept of a Fry's for a casino in Vegas would be a smash.
Yes.
How so?
It's just a casino with but the themes is Fry's. And so it's like you just walk in and there's a bunch of electronic stuff, but everything's gambling, right?
Wow.
Should it
Make some
be?
money. That's how they could come back. We could bring Fry's back by turning it into a casino in Vegas.
I hate to be the East Coaster here, but I'd put my efforts towards Circuit City personally. But I can see the appeal.
I like both.
I think
like
Fry's
both.
has a bit better selection of more things.
Oh, they do.
Way bigger footprint.
But I'm feeling nostalgic.
I think there's room. There's room in the marketplace for both.
There is.
I'm just saying.
The guy wormed his way into.
Angels
he's
even look
like-
at the cameras when they told not to.
Yeah, he's like, you can't install that. I'll install it for you. He's like, I'll hook you up, and that's why he's on site and doing this and hooking it up. And then, of course, the plot driving device is them wanting to get the Oprah shot.
That's right. They call it the Oprah shot.
That's sort of a plot spoil, but not really. They're trying to get the money shot. You obviously see there's a ship.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to, and they buy cameras and they want to record
And
it.
they do that thing that I'm glad modern horror movies are doing, which they're referencing other stuff happening. I don't like a lot of zombie productions because they never say, oh, what should we call them? Other walkers or whatever. Like, just say Romero is a thing. Shaun the Dead does it. They reference Romero and don't say the Z word.
They're zombies.
Like, just say zombie. Like, be aware of zombie rules. But this, they say, people get bad shots of this man. It's all grainy and off. We can't tell what it is. We need to get the good shot. We need the good shit.
Yeah, no, he even said they don't call them UFOs anymore. They call them something else just so that you
UAFs?
UAPs?
something. It's like unidentified.
I had a coworker who had the
Something
same
or
rant
other.
about that, where he
Yeah.
said they're changing it so you don't ask about it. So blah blah blah. Like, just go stock the books.
Well, the federal government actually is publicizing that they now, I think it's the Air Force, has
yeah,
an actual open investigation on their old stuff that they're releasing plus new stuff. And
yeah. They
it's
dropped
like,
a lot
You gotta
recently.
be kidding me. We have tax dollars going to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force.
Yes.
That's
What's their
ridiculous.
careers page look like? Can I get a job there?
Office Naval Intelligence. Yeah, okay.
I'll commute.
Parent organization. Uh-huh.
DOD. Navy.
Oh my gosh! Hey, check out this story from the AP. It says
Oh God.
Japanese alarmed by biting and clawing, attacking monkeys.
Yeah,
And
Japan's
monkeys will
rife
do
with
that, man.
monkeys.
They will attack you.
It
just
used
like
to be
they do in
cute
this
because they would just
film.
show up and steal your apples. Now they're like, I want that food.
People in Southwest Japanese cities have come under attack from monkeys that are trying to snatch babies.
What? They're going to raise them on their own?
Clawing and, I don't know.
It's a Tarzan situation. Damn, we got to get over there.
I know, right?
People in Japan have enough to worry about.
If they're not careful, those babies will be surfing down vines and to
Yes.
Phil Collins music. Just Son of Man echoing across Tokyo.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
That's my.
know.
Hey, if you are a fan of not complex storytelling, but storytelling that has a little bit of introspection and insight into it, gives you a little bit of information ahead. It does some foreshadowing. The story is not necessarily linear. It is, but you have to rely on some of the history that's being told to push the story forward. You will enjoy this film.
I think they left a lot to the imagination.
Yes.
They did. I couldn't even understand half the lines.
Yeah.
It could have been the theater sound, but half of them I was like, "What did he say?"
Yeah.
I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll follow it.
They talk very fast.
I want to say because I live near Maryland, which has a dense, I think just black now. Like I don't say African American, like black community. I think I've learned to pick that up. So I was doing fine watching, but oh goodness, I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about
They
black
talk really fast.
They talk fast.
You're talking about
Darn it. I'm sorry, guys.
People in those environments talk fast. I mean, in general, people in LA talk fast.
because of this poor studio sound. What?
Correct.
What I was gonna say, I loved how though OJ is just a lot of yep.
Yep. Nope.
Just Daniel. I never know how to say his last name. Kuwait, the lead. He was in the lead in Get Out. He's phenomenal. And everything. He was great on Black Mirror. I love him. But a lot of the subreddit apparently dissects a lot of Jordan Peele's work because he does put a lot of layers into it and a lot of thought and story. And
or he peels back the layers. See where I went there, huh?
that's beautiful. But they were dissecting what this movie could mean, what all the stuff means, anything that wasn't answered. They're digging in, saying, I think it's this, or maybe it's this thing. It's really fun to see not everyone just shouting each other down and just taking a really good movie and saying, what do you think this means? And then people saying, I think it's A, B, or C. I could see C, but I think D is more likely. And just,
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be interpreted a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. I like
Just
that
like
in
the
a movie.
title of the film. Yes, they say the word nope a whole lot, but it may mean something else. You have to do some research on your own to find out.
Yeah, go digging, internet sleuths.
Yes, Reddit is your friend for that one. Or you could just Google it. You'd probably find out.
I mean,
really
I think Peele does confirm that someone nailed it.
yeah, it's an acronym for something. It doesn't necessarily just reflect the fact that every character, except for the filmmaker, says nope multiple times.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's
But
just
it was still really funny because that is I've heard it in some stand up before where they'll say you never see a black person in a horror movie because they'll hear like one creep go nope 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 and just leave. And a lot of them were just like checking it out and shutting doors like no I'm not doing that. Not dealing with it.
Realistically, I mean, the way that some of the scenes are set up, I mean, he's standing there, OJ Jr. or whatever he goes by, CJ or whatever.
OJ
Jr.
Otis Jr.
Otis
I forgot
Jr..
the lead character's name is Otis.
He just stands there and watches things happen and doesn't react. And I'm like,
Which is that's a pretty savvy way. The way the theme of animals comes up, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, the animals is going to stand there until he gets spooked, and he's just standing there watching what the animals are doing, and then he's watching what's going on around him, and he's like,
Good way to learn.
do I run now?
You know what you're describing? Oscar performance.
Yes.
I guarantee you he gets nominated.
Doing
Nothing.
Like
You
less
do-
is more.
The less you do, the more you get
The
nominated.
less is more.
Although I do love a scene chewing Gary Oldman performance. My goodness.
Oh.
That man should be overrated with all the scenery he's been eating. But yeah, this movie, I love this movie. I don't like anything that's really horror themed or adjacent or anything scary. I would highly recommend this, especially in the theater if you can.
It's just suspense. It's not really horror at all.
But it's so good seeing it on a
It's
big
not, you're
screen.
right.
Like
It's suspense.
without giving it away too much, like seeing it on a big screen will benefit. Like you'll benefit seeing it on a larger format with the sound.
And I think because of the scenery and the fact they're in a canyon and they do a lot of wide shots.
Yeah.
And it
It's
puts you in
beautiful. It's like
perspective.
It's like a Western.
It does.
Yeah, it really does feel like a Western.
And keep an eye on them clouds when they do those wide shots.
I know.
Because that's the thing that, he's obviously doing it for a reason. And because I saw it in the previews and you're just like, I'll just keep an eye. Oh, yeah, shit's going on up there.
Weird stuff happening, man.
I'm telling you.
Ancient aliens.
Weird stuff. And that even gets brought up, Ancient Aliens. Everyone in the rows,
That's
like,
why I
pointing
looked
at
over
me.
and like, hey, you talk about that.
Yeah.
You love big tall hair guy.
Hell yeah, man.
Aliens.
Watch it. It's all good.
What, you were gonna say something random
I was
before
saying, my kiddo showed me
in.
this thing on Google Translate where you can just type in words and have other languages speak it.
Yeah.
You know about this?
Yes. Nope.
That is
But,
Japanese.
yeah, it's so funny. Anyways, he taught me that.
I've seen a couple for French where it's basically the same word, but it's with an accent.
You can even make so you can hear how Google's translating different voices. That's a Japanese laugh according to Google.
which is weird.
Which is weird.
It's like an AI or something.
It's some weird AI. Let's hear the Arabic laugh.
Please.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. All right.
Nope.
It's a descending.
vowels, no
It's a
pronunciation.
descending. Yeah.
Do they have the click language?
The click language. What's the
The
click
click
language?
song that's from
um,
Africa?
I don't know if they would have enough to translate that. What is that called?
Maybe?
I don't know.
That might not be it.
So, I
pretty
don't know
rough.
anybody who laughs like
also,
that. Nope.
laughter is
Alright.
more of a just involuntary sound rather than a noise you make. So maybe they don't have
And I
an
would
exact
say-
language for it. But
And I would say there's no laughter in this film.
But I'll tell you what, I did laugh a few times because I was
Correct.
so nervous. I was
Yeah, yeah.
like, how am I supposed to react
that,
to
and that's
this?
another mark of a good horror movie is that
It
it's not
is.
just scary the whole way
Yeah.
through. Like a good action movie is not just all action. You have to have
Right.
stuff to break it up to
Correct.
appreciate
Taste.
it.
And we had some stuff to break it up with in the name of some beers.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about beers.
I want to think of a way to derail it, but I can't.
Yeah, this is Movie and a Beer. Thanks for hanging out. We're talking about the Jordan
Oh, you're
Peele
welcome.
film Nope. And we saw it at Cinema 21 here in Portland, Oregon. And they do have beers available. They have pizza from Escape New York. They have frozen yogurt sandwiches, which are a little pricey. I was so want to go. They have kombucha. They've got
The big cookie ice
Yeah.
cream sandwich for $6.50.
it is a little
My
pricey,
goodness.
but it's an ice cream.
You know
sandwich.
what's not $16 though? Is
popcorn.
is a beer.
Beer is only like
You
$5,
can
$6.
buy a beer
Yeah.
for $5 there, $6.
Pretty
And
savvy.
their popcorn they can
Their
serve by the
popcorn.
bucket. Little bag or a bucket.
Or bucket. And it's not expensive.
It's not. I appreciate it because they're independent and they don't rely on
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
they rely on their ticket sales and not their sales of their food,
Which is
to make
typically
money.
a larger scale movie theater
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Carmike Cinemas. This might be an East Coast thing. I've never seen one out here. Near where my parents live, they've set it up where you have to get your tickets where the food is. And every time I would go with my parents, I'd be just a frothing, angry mess because we go and just get tickets, and behind some family is like, "Duh, should we get the big popcorn or the medium popcorn? If it's two sizes, it's large or small." Just so mad. And I walk over to Dad with the tickets. He's like, "What's wrong with you? Why are they doing this? Money." Doesn't help. Still mad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Let's go watch it tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, they have two smaller theaters and then the one big theater. And the big theater is the old school one that has a balcony, and the
The
smaller
original
ones,
theater.
the original.
Yeah.
I remember
Love
going
that
there
theater.
when it was like these hard ass metal seats and the springy ass
Really?
cushions that were so
Oh, I
uncomfortable.
kind of miss those, but I also had a younger back then.
Yeah, they now have it's all been replaced and upgraded when they expanded. And we've seen something both in the smaller theater recently. We saw Thor: Love and Thunder in the smaller one, which was really cool because it's a smaller setting and there's only the rows are only about 15 seats wide versus the 3 rows of 10 each.
I want to have a
and
birthday party there.
You could probably do that. You could probably rent it out, or
Probably could.
I know back in COVID you had mentioned that you could
Oh, yeah, you
probably
could.
Like renting a theater. That was the way they were making money. Is get your COVID
gather
bubble
20
with
of
you.
your friends, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But so we had these 3 beers, which they had, like I mentioned, pre-COVID, the same beers, and I don't know if they change it periodically or not, or whatever they run out with, they replace. We each had a different beer.
Which I am realizing now I didn't do on purpose, but it's really funny that we did that.
Yeah, so Randall is the big IPA fan, so he had the Breakside IPA,
Delicious.
which is something we've had with numerous other films
Oh, yeah,
that we've
yeah.
done podcasts on and numerous times at the house and other places, which is, it's Breakside.
It's a solid go-to. We'll have to eventually do a super long episode about what beers go great with every movie. And then just get drunker and drunker as we're trying them all. Like, this one goes great. Smash.
Breakside IPA, it traditionally is a Northwest or West Coast style IPA. It's going to have a lot of pine character and some fruit aroma. It has kind of a light malty base. It's not super forward, but it's enough to hold up. A little bit of caramel on the back. And it's just super amazing because it uses all Northwest grown ingredients.
Very cool.
And
Love your local.
It put Breakside on the map. It's 6.7% right in the middle of the road for IPAs and 73 IBU. So it tastes bitter.
Yeah.
It's bitterness on the front, bitterness on the mid, and it lingers bitter. So
I feel like Randall likes a bitter beer typically, right?
I like bitter beers a lot.
bitter beer face.
How did your beer go with the movie? Did it match okay?
I drank it through a straw, which is great.
That's right.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but y'all.
Oh, come on now.
Randall,
That shows-
Gary, and I are the Straw Brigade.
Yeah, I was like, I am not drinking my beer through a straw.
It's one of the few times that I actually get to drink my beer through a straw, and I think
Yeah.
it's amazing.
And do you think it affected the
Yeah,
amount of
I'm curious about the
carbonation or
flavor
anything, or
profile.
was
It
flavor
definitely did
profile change?
something. You know, I drink a beer through a straw, and it's definitely different than not drinking a beer through a straw.
That is true.
I can't
It
tell
does
what
hit your
is.
tongue differently. Did the beer match the movie at all?
The break
Would you
side?
like if you were watching it at home? Do you think?
I
you'd
think there's a
crack
reason
one?
why Cinema 21 carries the break side.
'Cause it goes with
It just
anything.
goes with absolutely anything.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a smart move.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
And I know that you had Bowie Northwest Red, which was a little hoppier red than a traditional American.
There's still a
amber or
malt kick
American red.
there.
There's a malt back to it that holds up, but it does have enough. It's dry hopped with Ultra and Sterling hops, which are going to give it a little bit of that kind of not necessarily pine resinous, but it's going to give you that vegetal herbal kind of hit.
I
on
can
the
agree
back.
with the herbal. I was about to tell you I didn't get anything piney off of the one I had through my delicious straw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super
you
strong.
did it too.
Yeah.
So that one is like also like 6.7% like total middle of the road and 65 IBU. So it's a cross between like an American Amber and a red IPA. It's not necessarily hop forward enough to be considered an IPA.
Yeah, I wouldn't say IPA. Are
But
there
it's a hoppy red.
Are there a lot of red IPAs?
There are people that are trying, and the only thing that makes a
That
red
seems
IPA
scary to me to like put those flavors together.
The word IPA, any color before it, just means that it's that color. It doesn't necessarily
That's
mean
it?
that the flavors
That's
are going
all
to
it
be super
means?
different. That's all that means.
So when are we going to see the Pepsi Clear version, the Clear IPA,
Well,
which is just a bunch of
okay.
hops inside of a glass of water?
So they make hop infused water.
Oh,
Did you know
Deb and
that?
I almost bought you some. We were going to buy you some as a prank.
Yeah, I'm like, let's not ever go there.
Listeners, if you
Please.
want to buy us anything, find us at our homes and just give us hot water. I'll drink it. I don't care.
Yeah, somebody thought that was a good idea and it took off, and now a bunch
Good
of
for
people
them.
are producing it, and I'm
Good
just
for
like,
them.
oh my god, why?
Anywho, I thought it
calorie
matched
free.
well.
It's calorie free. Yeah. So how
See,
did
it's great. It's great for health.
so how did the Bowie Northwest Red go with the movie?
I liked that it didn't pull away from the movie too much, but the movie did have a lot of, as you guys, suspenseful moments, which were just bereft of dialogue and just built this tension. It was nice to, when I was getting too anxious, like, oh boy, this is really, really scary. This is really good.
Aesthetically, a red beer for this movie makes sense.
Yeah.
Visually.
Because
At
there's
least
a little
for
bit of
one,
blood going on.
at least
A
for a
little bit of
couple
blood in
scenes,
the
it's
movie, yeah.
not as much as I thought there'd be.
Yeah.
But I thought it went with it well. If you can get this red or any kind of red with it, or if it's the deep future, the far future, and you have it on a home VOD, pick up a red.
Yeah, watch it on demand.
What'd you drink, Dan?
So
Cool story. No,
two
sorry.
of us, Gary and I had the Occidental Kolsch style ale, which is, as
a
most
classic.
people know, a classic. Occidental makes some amazing German style beers, and this is one of them. It's only 4.5 ABV, and it's going to be a little lighter. It's going to have a kind of a yeasty forward with a little bit of floral and honey, a little bit of sweet. And it also has kind of a really super thin crackery kind of vibe. Not quite Pilsner crackery, but wet cracker, not dry cracker.
Right. Remind me what yeasty forward would kind of mean. Like, I don't know if I've had the yeast taste recently.
So it's going to be kind of tongue coating, powdery.
Oh, that's what that means.
That's what that
okay.
means, yeah.
All right. I don't know if I love a tongue coating beer.
They're traditional. That's normally what
Okay.
that style is known for, having a little bit more yeast forward vibe, more than a
Interesting.
Pilsner would. And I can't argue. I think because I was not drinking it out of a straw, I drank it much faster than I should have, and I was more than halfway done with it by the time the movie started.
And see, I had mine going at least into the end of the second act, so I wonder if the straw helps extend the life of a beer.
Probably that's actually a good thing we could
Oh,
study.
yeah. We should study that.
I got some L straws. I know where to buy more.
There you go.
You could probably get funding from the government.
to study
Hey.
They could be our official sponsor.
They'll throw money at anything.
Government.
that. Because
Yeah.
then you could say, hey, you should always at bars and things put a cap on it and give them a straw, and that will slow down everyone's drinking habits.
I mean,
Though I have heard
Yeah.
when drinking through a straw, something with the carbonation, it hits you faster, so you may get drunk faster.
And that's why I was going to ask. I was like, I know that it generates it allows the CO2 and the carbonation to get more active because it's compressed. You're going from a loose body
right.
that's just a container holding it to a compressed body,
Right.
and you're sucking it up through it. So it's going to allow that CO2 to release a lot faster. So more effervescence in the mouth, some bubbly action.
If the French government will give their filmmakers money to make films, our government should give us money to study beer.
I'll just tell them it's for military stuff, and they'll give me like $2 billion.
Dude, that's the
They
way to
could.
go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the way to
is
go.
it- is it-
If it's
we're
a
learning how to
military
use beer
angle,
and straws to
we all
kill
ready for
people.
that.
Yeah. So all 3 beers I think went well. I mean,
Do you think would you recommend a Kolsch for anyone watching this in general? Like
if you're not an IPA fan and you're not, I mean,
So-
any lighter beer. And
because
we're
Kolsch's are pretty like low key. If
Yeah.
I can't get a lager or a Pils, because I'm a very light beer drinker kind of person, I'll usually go for a Kolsch otherwise.
Kolsch and Helles are really close to each other. The Helles is just going to be a little bit more sweeter. That's from
Yeah.
southern part of Germany or central.
We talked
southern.
about that on the last episode.
Yeah, a little bit. So you should definitely find something lighter from my perspective because it didn't distract at all from watching.
Yeah, don't get something that's like so weird that you're not paying attention to the movie because
So the other thing,
he hints at what's happening. It's like an Edgar Wright movie.
It
If you
is.
miss something earlier, you're going to be wondering later. What's that reference to?
yeah, but there's also points in the movie that are really slow and drawn out. So you could, if you needed to do a potty break or get more beer. I did not get up and go get more beer. I should have, but I didn't.
I
was
don't know
like,
about Randall, but I definitely got up to pee. I should have gone earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had been going out beforehand. And
Yeah.
had a
Sorry to
few
that
drinks.
would we had to walk past 3 times.
I mean, she picked that out. She picked that spot.
She knew what was happening. She
knew.
watched me
She
drink
saw
through my
us.
straw with a lot of slurpy noises out of my big gulp.
Check this film out.
Yes,
I really
absolutely see
appreciate Mr. Jordan Peele's ability to make interesting, fun films to watch that aren't challenging.
Yeah.
Intellectually, they're challenging from a perspective of you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
The story is
Yeah.
a surprise. It's more, again, and I think Randall and I agreed with this, that it's not necessarily horror. It's more
Suspense.
suspense
Yeah,
in
it is
anything.
suspense.
The horror aspects of it are a little gruesome because you do see things,
Right.
body parts, but you only see them really briefly,
Right.
and then you don't ever see them again.
I didn't notice until someone pointed this out on the poster, and I don't think it's a spoiler, but it's more like Jaws in the sense of a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I said it because there's a poster with the lead actor looking up, looking like Jaws going for the woman on the thing with the
Interesting.
clouds. Like, oh, that's really cool.
You know what I could have done without in this movie? The one scene, maybe you guys thought too. The POV from the interior of the alien eating people.
I'm glad they did it because
I
that
like-
really
I don't
enhanced.
like-
That's why I
was
think that's why I'm
watching it,
thinking
like,
of.
come on, are we being pranked?
It made it look
was weird.
so
Well,
fake.
Well,
It was so fake.
what I thought was
They
I,
were like
I thought it was
being
really interesting.
slurped up by bed sheets. That's
Something.
what it looked like.
It looked like that.
I kept
Yeah.
thinking weather balloon.
Yeah, that's what
And
I
so
thought.
later on, when I was like, when they say, when dudes say, like, oh,
They
it's just
were
a weather balloon, like it's.
screaming, and I don't know what was going on. It was.
It seemed really weird.
I'm in the minority. I thought that scene was really powerful, but again, I also don't watch a lot of horror stuff. I watch
Yeah.
pretty light, action-y comedy, romance comedy stuff.
There were a couple
So
scenes
I'm
where I
a
was like,
softie.
Yeah, there was a couple scenes where I was like, nope.
Ah,
Would have cut that.
And you know, and we can finish this with the filmmaker. One of his final lines in the film that he says is, I don't think we deserve to get that ultimate shot that no one can get.
I don't know about you guys, but that guy felt like a parody.
He was.
I was sitting here thinking, I don't know if I like this or hate it.
It was a little strange. Yeah. Again,
It's apparently based on an actual like.
It's a commentary on
it's
the industry.
Oh,
Well, it's a commentary on a specific director whose name escapes me, but they reference like it's a guy Jordan Peele has met. It's like this guy's pretentious.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
what kind of beer do you think Jordan Peele likes?
That can be a really good question. What do you think he drinks?
I bet he drink. Let me think. Did
Spritzers.
comedy?
He
Mad
drinks
TV.
White Claw.
Oh,
He's married
like
to
that.
Chelsea Peretti. I could see that. I could see them being into a White Claws. I bet if he drank a beer, I think Jordan Peele would drink something with citrus in it to make fun of the last name with orange peel. See what I
Okay.
did there?
That's-
I'm sad nobody laughed.
That's doable. He'd like a Gosa or something that has a lot of citrus in it.
Yeah, I could see him drinking a Goza.
Yeah, either that or like I'm going to say the name Blue Moon because that's the most
Ooh.
popular.
I
of
don't
that
mind a Blue
style.
Moon.
So that's going to be that coriander based, really what's called white beer or wit beer.
Yum 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 yum.
Yeah,
let's
that's a-
let's invite the audience to leave a comment below. What kind of beer do you think Jordan Peele likes, and which brewery in Portland do you think he would like? And then let's convince that brewery
To make a beer for him.
To make the beer for him.
And let's convince Jordan Peele to come out here so I can meet him and compliment him on his many amazing sketches,
Exactly.
including
Exactly.
Inner City Magic School where he's petting a rat.
And then we'll ask him.
Oh, it's a suit? Oh my God.
And then we'll ask him the real question.
Yeah.
If you're at a theater where you're drinking beer, watching one of your films,
What would you drink?
are you going to drink it out of a straw?
Oh, even better. Would you drink that beer out
He's
of
a
a
straw drinker. You know he's a straw
yeah,
drinker.
my question was going to be, would you produce the script Randall and I wrote? Randall, we need to write a script.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Dan, you can help too, I guess.
Well,
but
I mean,
second
Otto
question.
already kind of wrote a script about time travel on his Apple Watch, but that never
Oh my
went
God.
anywhere.
Well, we'll figure it out.
it's going to be tough because neither of us are black. So it's going to be, we're going to have to leave the characters loose.
Like and
Open.
subscribe. Leave a comment below. Jordan, if you're listening, we'll buy you a beer, or we'll get a brewery to make you a case of
Yeah,
beer.
we can.
Yes.
I have friends. We
can
can
do
talk
that.
to people.
We
Yes,
can
Dan
make
will
that
buy
happen.
you a
We'll-
beer.
But
We'll-
people
we'll
have to
figure it
show
out.
interest. People have to like comment below, and they gotta do the thing.
I'll also accept Keegan Michael Key or Michael McDonald, anyone from Mad TV. I'm not picky. I love that show.
I'll
right.
take anybody.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. And as always, the opinions expressed during the taping of this recording are those of the hosts. And we want to, we really do all believe this is a great film. Watch it if you can.
Absolutely.
See it in a small independent theater. Don't go to the big ones unless you want to see it in IMAX. And then, maybe see it at a big theater. Thanks for listening. This is Dan signing out.
This is Blake saying hydrate or dihydrate.
This is Randa saying
The baby.
ciao ciao.
See, this is
All
fun
right.
because they always blow up at the end. So it's just always a good time.
Yeah. So hang out for the next season. We're going to start that in September.
Tell your
Lot of
friends,
episodes.
like,
all right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to
Bye.
you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.